Welcome to our Saturdays Ask Me Anything, which is exactly what it sounds. Saturdays Ask Me Anything, yoga for BJJ related. So how's everyone doing? Let me know. This is actually one of my favorite parts. I always like to know where everybody is. So shoot in the comments where everybody is. Maybe what the weather is like. In Canada here, it's minus 10 in Kelowna. That's not bad. There's some places where it's a lot colder. And so where you are, what belt you are, and maybe any stretching questions that you have for me. So let me know all of those. Hola. Oh, wouldn't that be great if you're from Hawaii? That'd be so great. I swear I've gotten better at tech stuff since I started this. All right. So today's, as I'm waiting for any questions you have, yoga for BJJ related, or anything that's even feeling tight or anything you have questions about. And if you do, from Ireland. Wow. And what belt are you? Are you guys open in Ireland training? And if you do have any questions, let me know. And if you're wondering, someone else is probably wondering too, because sometimes I'll have like a question, but I won't ask it because I'll be like, oh, no one else is, it's already been answered or someone else already asked it, but usually not. So any questions, send them over. And I'm going to talk about my live class today, which I'm really excited about. So I've been geeking out about the slower held yoga poses and postures, and that's kind of what we're talking about. Like there's the differences between the flows and, oh, hello, Mike. Not only blue's a big accomplishment. Underground training, yeah, you've got your team of people you're training with. You can take jiu-jitsu away from people, but you can't. You can take away the clubs, but they're all going to keep training. You can't take the jiu-jitsu out of the people. Everyone keeps training. So pump in the comments which one you like more. Do you like flows more, or do you like the slower held classes? And I've heard both. I've heard from some people the flows are really nice because they like to complement their training, and also they like to get the blood flowing and stuff. Then there's some other people that really like the slower classes because maybe they're working a lot, they're training a lot, they're even if jiu-jitsu's closed, they're doing weights and stuff like that. And it's nicer to have the slower classes. So you have, and I actually just finished, I was really excited about this, my yin certification. And I'm like, what does that even mean? All that is just a funny, you like the flows? Hey, I know, I love them too. All the yin means is just a fancy word that they came up with for slower held postures. Yeah, I have a couple more. Depends on the day. You know what, Keisha? That's slower. That's a really good comment because it's true. It does depend on the day. Like I like both. Sometimes I like the flows and sometimes I like the slower postures, and that's why Saturdays were a bit slower. I do yoga for criminals. Only handcuffs needed. Perfect. That keeps it simple. That keeps it super simple. You know what? That's so true. I feel better after the longer holds, but I enjoy doing the flows. Yeah, that's so true. Are the stretches to do before? You know what? So with this class, are these stretches to do before or after exercising, or is this a session itself? You know what? Today's class is pretty cool because this one is actually meant to do it when you're cold. It's better to do when you're cold in the morning before you go to bed, or if you're working from home and you just need a bit of a lunch break, because in the flows you're pumping blood into the muscles and you're lengthening the muscles. So the target is really the muscles in the flows, which is incredibly important. Also building strength through obviously through when you move from like plank down to your back bends, which is here. So plank and down to your back bends. Like obviously we're building muscle, but in today's class, what we're doing, like in the flows, you're pumping blood into the muscles. And today's class is slower held postures that actually stretch the connective tissue, so the ligaments and the tendons and the fascia. And that's really important, and it's better to actually do cold. I enjoy flows. I can't keep my mind together for long holds. You know what? It's so true. I actually struggled a lot with keeping the mind together in the slower classes too. But then that allows me to focus on the breathing. That's how I kind of kept my mind focused. Okay, this is what's happening. And it's actually really cool because it is a big shift in mindset, but it is really cool because when you hit like 2 or 3 minutes, you actually start to feel everything release, and it's like, wow, this is really neat. And it's just as important. Yeah, so today's class is slower held postures, yeah, to stretch the tendons, fascia, and the ligaments and stuff like that. And so you want to do today cold, which is crazy. I never thought you'd want to do like stretching and yoga like super cold, but we're targeting something different, and it's just as important to have both worlds. Yes, you know what? You're still pretty new to yoga, and the longer holding poses seem to help you at this point. And sometimes, like if people are newer, then that might help them too. So you have like the flows where you're moving through like everything. Then you have like Sebastian's 10 and 10, which is absolutely amazing. And you guys can jump in that. I have it in the description, a link to do actually that whole program for free. 10 videos for 10 minutes for 10 days. And those are moving through stretches, which is also incredibly important. And that was the program I started with. It was amazing. Then today is just slower held postures. The focus will be really cool, more of the shoulders. So more of the shoulders and lats like underneath, because this tends to get really tight with our elbows beside each other, even if you're training in your fight club, like pulling, elbows are in. Yesterday we talked a little bit about Muay Thai, punching and pulling, those elbows are in. Oh, thank you, Crazy Beardo. That's an awesome name too. So pushing and pulling, and then we will be releasing the triceps and moving through some of the back and opening the shoulders. So today's focus will be just mostly the upper body. Yeah, no, that's fine. Go right ahead, Keisha Willett, that's fine. I did the same thing. I'll be like, duh. So, and we'll move through, and you don't really think of how tight the lats and triceps can be until when you're sitting here. Go ahead and just lift an arm. And I'm actually curious, drop in the comments, how do you feel when you lift that arm up? Like, does it feel good? Does it feel tight? Does it feel kind of uncomfortable? Can you feel the arm on your ear, or is it behind your ear? Like, where is this arm? And that's kind of a cool test you can do. Another one is if you're on your back, lift the arms above the head. As you can see, I've honestly got some space here. So I have some work to do, but it's crazy because you want the back, pretty much your arm to be lower to the ground if you can. Some people can have it all the way to the ground, and that's good flexibility. But for me, my lats are tight, my pecs are tight, my traps are tight. They've gotten better. Like, that's been my really big homework, is it's gotten better, but it's still really tight. And that is a result of years and years and years and years of boxing and even jiu-jitsu, where I never stretched. I was like, when people, oh, I need to stretch, and I never did. And so it just got incredibly tight. And now I'm trying to reverse 10 years of that. So it takes time. And I found that, like, I need the flows to get the blood pumping and to stretch the muscles. But I think also over time, the ligaments and fascia will also get really tight. So yeah, but slightly, so you're slightly, so yeah, you're not too bad. You can have the arm on the ear. Yeah, that's not too terrible. It's actually pretty good. So today's class is a really cool one, slower held postures, mostly focusing on that upper body. And sometimes you don't feel the best in the poses. Like, there's very specific poses that we'll do. And the slower poses, you don't want to do all the poses you do in the flows. You can't. So sometimes they're just like, oh, it doesn't feel the super best. But then when you come out of it and even after, you just feel so good. So it's like, I guess it's like feeding yourself, your ligaments and tendons, a whole bunch of broccoli. So not even at all from the left to right side. So you will have, yeah, so sometimes you'll have like one side tighter than the other, or one side will feel different than the other. And I actually taught a slower yoga class the other day, and we were doing a stretch with, you know, just the right leg in, left leg out. And I was gonna say, my victims, like some of them were like, okay, so they felt it, okay, this side I feel more of the hamstrings, but then when we switched sides, they felt it all through the leg. They felt it all through the bent leg instead on the other side. So I was like, wow. So you'll feel different on each side. So that's our class today. I'm pretty excited about it because it's just so important to have the best of both worlds. Because usually you just think, oh, I just need to stretch something more. But you go deeper into it, it's cool because our platform has both. It has the slower flows, it has the slower, strong flows, it has faster flows, and then it has the slower held stretches that I do. Both of them are important. And honestly, it's like whatever your system needs. So even before training, whether you're even going for a run, whether you're doing weights, whether you're doing kettlebells, whether you're doing jiu-jitsu, I hope you are doing jiu-jitsu. If you're not in lockdown, even if you are before your fight club, do something to get the blood flowing, to get the blood moving. And something you would think of is also that lower back. Like, how often do we really bring blood flow and movement through that lower back and spine? So when you choose your flow, you can do a couple flows where you warm up. In the Yoga for BJJ website, you can put in the site like warm up, put in the search warm up, and then you'll find the Yoga for BJJ warm up. But you want to also include the lower back, stretches through the front, rotation of the spine, just to really prepare the body for the crazy stuff we put it through in jiu-jitsu. Something to get the blood flowing, get everything feeling really good, a super light stretch before you train. Then after, you want to cool down, because the cool down actually properly cools all the muscles down, and that allows us to just feel better, just feel less sore, just feel better. Then the ones that we're doing a little bit here, you can totally do cold, which is nice because I kind of fell into what we're doing the slower held postures, and I was like, I've been working all day and I'm exhausted. I don't want to do yoga. I'm exhausted. I don't want to do a flow. And then I would do these slower classes, and man, you just feel so good after. So it kind of leaves excuses out of it. All right, team, so having said all that, it's super fun to hang out with everyone as always, and I'm gonna get ready for my live class. You can jump on the story and swipe up, or you can go, that's my swipe up motion, or you can go onto the website, yogaforbjj.net, and click on the banner, and then you'll see me there too. So I will see everybody in a little bit.